Welcome to the 45th episode of the Bloomers Podcast. My name is Umar. The Bloomers Podcast is basically a podcast that I host about mental health, life, advice, stuff like that. And yeah, if you're interested in that type of content, then my channel's for you. Thank you for clicking. It's been a long time since I've made a video. Very long time. I was going to make this video in 2023, but some things went wrong and some problems came up, and I'm making this on January 1st, 2024, but that's okay. I had a very good year. It was very fun. One of the best years of my entire life. I'm very happy about that. And yeah, I don't know. Life is good. It's crazy. Life is bad sometimes. It's good sometimes. I don't know. That's cliche as hell, I know, but like seriously, one day I'm feeling so good about stuff and the next day I'm feeling bad, and then it just like repeats again and again. But overall, I really enjoyed the year. My God, today I want to talk about motivation, being lazy, what life is really about, connecting with other people, the power of people when they come together, stuff like that. I don't know. These are just random things that come up on my mind, and I haven't made a video in a long time, so things have really been accumulating. But I don't know. I felt like this semester, right? I was reflecting on it, and I did take a lot of lazy time after my midterms, and I felt like I became complacent after my midterms, and because I felt like, I did do good on my midterms, and that kind of made me lazier. And the last video I made was after my midterms, and I became lazy. I stopped making videos here. I didn't stop, but I started studying less because I knew that I was already like secure in a way, with like my grades and stuff. But I've started to reflect on that, and you know how sometimes people are like, oh, I wish I had money, or I wish I was born into a rich family, or I wish I didn't have to work. That is so stupid. Because like, I imagine if I was born into a really rich family and then like I like didn't have to work or whatever, that would like nothing would feel rewarding. And that's what I feel like university, which is a thing in my life that I view as a part of success. University, when you work in university and you achieve the results that you like, that's a form of success. But also laziness needs to play a part in that. And I feel like if you are born into that rich family, you kind of don't have that motivation. And it's bad because money shouldn't be the motivation, but it's like, see, this is very complex to explain and articulate out of my mind right now, but I don't know. I feel like the laziness part is very good, but it's also very destructive. And after something like grinding for your tests, you should be lazy. Like in this break right now, I did my finals, and I'm here, and I'm kind of just like doing nothing every day. Well, I am doing stuff. Like I'm doing, like I'm not doing nothing. I'm doing like non-school stuff, which I consider to be like worthless, which is wrong, but also kind of makes sense because it's not contributing to your goal. You know, I have been on this anti-social media thing for quite a while, but nowadays I'm trying to like do it in a different way. I deleted Instagram and I only download it and go on it like once a day or on my computer. I don't want to keep it on my phone because it's not good for me. I've just decided that now. And my New Year's goal last year was to decrease my screen time, and I didn't achieve that. So now I'm gonna achieve that. I'm just gonna force myself to do that. One of the strategies I've been using is putting my phone background as the book I'm currently reading. So anytime I have the urge to pick up my phone and use it, I'm just reminded of that book is waiting for you, that knowledge in that book. Because the knowledge of books, you just can't really find, in people and in your phone. Sometimes you can't. It's easier, or the having the access to the knowledge is easier through the book, because you're already committed to it when you open it up and you read it, than searching for it in your phone, if that makes sense. So I prefer that instead of like, because you don't need this. You don't need to do this. This is communication with people. But do you really need it? Sometimes, yeah. You can just use the phone app or the green messenger app, like this thing. You don't need to do the Instagram sharing. It's just fun, right? But do I really need that fun? Do I really, really need it? No. Like, it's a big, it's a big question between want and need. And yeah, I don't know. I think the phone background thing has actually helped me a lot, even though I don't really think about it. And putting my phone, I've been doing this really good in the past week. It's only been a week, but it's going very well. Charging my phone away from my bed, I stopped doing it in the semester and I started doing it again because it's so necessary. But my sleep has been better as well, and it's helping me feel more motivated. So yeah, I don't know, like, about you, but when I achieve a goal and then I'm lazy the next couple days, there's that feeling that you need to be doing something. And I remember after my midterms, I had a whole week where I didn't do anything because I didn't study. That's what I mean by not doing anything. And I was laying in this bed and I just thought about it, like, how bad does this feel right now? Like, it felt so unfulfilling. And I feel like that's what, when you're, I think it's called atrophy, where like you're not really going anywhere. You're kind of just like stagnant and like flatlining. That is what I want to avoid. And I think that's what most of us want to avoid. And throughout my semester, I know this is such a school focused talk I'm doing right now, but throughout my semester, I was thinking about, like, in that time, how do I motivate myself to study again? And motivation is a really dumb thing, because it barely lasts. I don't know about you guys, but my motivation doesn't last long. And one of the things that I did, so I have a journal, right? And I didn't write in it all of last year, and this year I picked it back up before school and I started writing in it again. In that journal, I wrote my goals for the semester. And I think according to my marks so far, I'm going to achieve it, but I don't know because one of my finals isn't out. But anyways, I wrote down my goals in there and my feelings and my thoughts before the semester started, and that laid the foundation for what my behavior was going to be during the semester. So one of my friends was asking me, he's like, how can I, because he studies, but I study more than him on campus. So he was asking me, like, oh, how do you motivate yourself? And to have motivation to pursue a goal, I think you got to write down your feelings and your thoughts, or document them in some way, maybe through a video. Yeah, write them down in a journal. Describe how you feel and what you want to achieve, and what behavior you're going to exhibit to achieve that goal. And in times where you're feeling lazy or unmotivated, come back to that video, come back to that journal, and look at it and just ask yourself, is my current behavior going to get me towards that goal? If the answer is no, just a couple simple changes in behavior and attitude will get you back on track. If the answer is yes, keep on doing what you're doing, but also keep time for breaks and don't go crazy and don't just fry your brain. But I think a day of laziness is fine, and then get back to it. You know how everyone's like, oh, Saturday, Sunday, those are the lazy days. Well, yeah, one of those days should be a lazy day for you. And then the others should be pursuing whatever you like or whatever you love. I don't know. I think that's a good way to think about it. I wrote a lot of things on here. And there's in Atomic Habits by James Clear, there's this part where he talks about, and if anyone has any background in psychology and you're watching this, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's like environmental cues that trigger. It's like when people are addicted to drugs or something, they're in a certain environment where there are cues that trigger their drug usage. It's that's basic human behavior, but it's like he talks about in the book, he's like motivation is overrated, environment matters more. So let's say I'm trying to study and I'm studying in my room here. You know, there's a TV right on the wall behind the camera. My PS5 is right there. It's pretty easy to, you know, get distracted by it and say like, oh, I want to stop studying and I want to go do that. Or if my phone is on my desk, it's pretty easy to be like, oh, you know, I really want to just pick that up and do it. And that was a problem for me. You know, throughout the semester, I was studying and I constantly wanted to pick up my phone and change what I was doing. But that interfered with my fundamental goal of trying to succeed in school, because that's what I deem as something that'll build towards who I want to be, you know? So one of the ways that I avoided that distraction, and this was my pre-midterm phase, was like, I was so hungry for my good grades, which was good. And I cause when you're uncertain about things, you're more motivated to create certainty. But yeah, I would go study on campus away from my room, and I would spend the night there. I would take lunch and you know, food for later. And that helped so much because the cues are gone. The same environment that I always feel distracted in, I could no longer feel distracted in the environment that wasn't worth all my stuff. Like the room, my room here, it's great for sleeping and for relaxing and playing games. That's what I should associate with this space. But everything outside of that on the campus, I should associate with working, right? That's a good way to divide it out. But if you don't have space, like he also said this, like, oh, if you're living in like New York City, you don't have enough space, then you divide your room into those sections. Okay, one other thing that I realized was that my friends were really influencing me in a positive way to continue grinding and getting our time in with books, you know, putting our face in our textbooks and stuff. And that's because human beings mimic other human beings. Like, that's 9 times out of 10, you're going to mimic the behavior of other people around you. And that could be for better or could be for worse. So I've been reading this book, The Art of Thinking Clearly. Yeah, it's backwards. But it's a really, really good book. It talks about logic and flaws in human thinking. And he talks about, I think it's called social proof or social conformity or something like that. And it's like the idea that, you know, you're going to follow the people around you and that's just natural. And yeah, it could be for better, it could be for worse. So he brings up an example. It's like this. Imagine you're a hunter-gatherer 5,000 years ago, and you're with your friends in a forest, and you're hunting deer. And suddenly everyone bolts away because they see what looks like a bear behind you. You know, are you going to sit there and think like, oh, was there a bear there? Or, like, no, obviously not, right? You're going to run with your friends and go away. So later on, you'll reflect on that and say, okay, there wasn't a bear, but that was still a good decision. And if there was a bear, that still would have been a good decision to run away immediately. But the idea was, by saying that, the idea was that 9 times out of 10, you're not going to stand there and exit the gene pool by being eaten by a bear. You're going to run. And that's because human beings mimic other human beings. But I'll take that a step further. So I think most of us will agree that the world is a bad place inherently. So if that's true, why is it a bad place? That's because 9 times out of 10, people follow what other people are doing. So, how can we make the world a better place? Don't do what everybody else is doing. And you can see that with, like, artists who make music change the lives of so many people because they're doing something that they're following a path that's not easy to succeed in. And most people out here are not doing, what do you call it? Extraordinary things. They're not doing something, flashy or crazy risky. And I mean, that's okay because most of us are not going to change the world. Most of us are not going to succeed a lot in life. Most of us aren't going to do great things. That's okay though. But for the people who do take very big risks and do succeed a lot, those people are rare, and they are the ones who create the positive change in a world that's inherently bad because they're deviating from the path that everyone else takes. They're standing when there is a bear, but maybe you shouldn't. So yeah, don't do what everybody else does unless there's a bear behind you. I went skiing 2 days ago at Sunshine Village. It's a really nice place in the Albertan Rockies. And it was really cool because it's like you go on like a lift. What do you call it? A gondola, like up 18-minute ride into the middle of mountains in a valley, and there's like 5,000 people there with you skiing down mountains. Like it's a very cool experience that I'd never had. I know how to ski, but I never went on that scale. I skied 5.5 years ago, and then I skied 2 days ago, so that's a long time. But I kind of forgot, but I ended up learning how to ski again or get back into the flow and be the best that I've ever been because I was looking at other people's behavior, or I was looking at how other people skied, and through that I was able to like pick it up. For example, like the stilt things you hold, the sticks, when you like push those both at the same time and then you fling your arms back, that was an example. The way you turn your skis to go, because when you want to slow down, you kind of like go not parallel but perpendicular to the direction of like the downward direction. So you go like zigzag, and the way you like orient your feet and your skis, I learned that from just looking at other people. So I was copying other people's behavior for my own good. And there's like another example, like yesterday I went to a grocery store with my friends. We were buying marshmallows for a campfire, and this is the one store that had, we were buying the crackers with the chocolate attached on it. And while we were walking in, some dude is sprinting out of the store. This is a major like grocery store, by the way. Sprinting out of the store very fast, and he runs right beside me, but I like turn my shoulder so he can run past. And in my mind, I was thinking like, oh, this dude probably had like a family emergency he heard on the phone. And all I saw was him just running. But I didn't think much of it. We walk in into the store, and there's like a family standing with their grocery cart like kind of angled in a weird way, and there's a milk jug on the floor, and there's some other things on the floor. So it turns out that dude actually stole from that family. And he was running away, and I felt like Spider-Man in that moment. Like I could have stopped this guy. If I just stuck my leg out, I could have tripped him, right? But I didn't have the context to like make that decision. That would have been stupid if I just tripped an innocent guy. But an example with that is like, in that scenario, like let's say everyone did have context. Most people are not trying to stop this guy, so why would I? And it's kind of sad because, you see a homeless person on the street and no one else is helping. So, or no one else is like going up to them, giving them a hug, giving them food. So why would you? You're not gonna deviate from the normal human behavior. But some people do, and those people make the world a better place. Like, I can think of another example. Today I was taking a video. I was in a burger shop, and I was making a video and sending it to my friends because we went to that burger place at a certain time, and it was a very good time of our lives. And then at the end of the video, I kind of moved it towards some people, it was like an old couple sitting, and then as I was walking by, he was like, "Oh, I would have smiled if you told me you were taking a video." And then I don't know, that just made me laugh. But like, no, like the average person doesn't say stuff like that, and it made me laugh, and put a smile on my face. And maybe I needed that smile. maybe I was having a very bad day. Maybe that guy made my day. So he did something that I think the average person wouldn't do, and it's a good thing, right? Damn, here fireworks. It's oh, it's 12 a.m. Okay, happy New Year if you're watching on January 1st. Just, you should surround yourself with people who have similar values, who have similar beliefs, similar goals, and that automatically elevates your performance in whatever you're doing. So, yeah, my example with this, me studying with my friends, is a very good example. I was automatically enhanced when I saw my friends studying there. It's like, I want to take a break. I want to be weak, right? But if he's grinding away, why can't I? I should be doing what he's doing. It's a win-win, and it's the energy from him. I think it's called synergy, is the energy of multiple people, right? So it's just like it's a back and forth transfer. And that's such a healthy relationship to have. And I'm grateful for my friends, some of my best friends, for being there and me being able to experience that. Because some people are just alone at the library. I that was me last year, because some of my friends weren't going to my school. But now that my friends are here, it's just like, dude, it's so good. Yeah, there's crazy fireworks outside. But another part of sharing experience or being with people is, I don't think there's any single experience out there that isn't better with other people. Like, think of any experience that you enjoy, think of a person that you really like, add them to that, and it's automatically better, right? Like, there are times where you should be selfish and you should have your alone time, but life is all about spending time with other people. So whenever you want to do something and you haven't done it with another person for a long time, include another person, and you'll make memories with that person. And making memories helps you live longer, literally. So I did something in this semester that I never have done, and maybe this is because of COVID interrupting, but I went to Coldplay concert in September in Vancouver. And this was like pretty much like a week before some of my midterms, right? So it was, in a certain way, a dumb decision. But I went with my sister and two of my sister's friends, and that was one of the best days, and I just got chills thinking about it. that was one of the best days and decisions and experiences of my life. But it would have been terrible if I was alone. And it was made so much better by the fact that the other three people on the trip were there. And now I have that shared, what was it, 36, 50 hours, something like that, with those people. And we went on a school day as well. It was a Thursday night. We were all at the airport. We got there early Friday morning, and we're just driving around in this freaking amazing Tesla, listening to music. And then on the Friday itself, we went to the concert. And then by Sunday, we were back, and then we went to school again. Like, this is also what I wanted to talk about. Like, that's what life is about. Your main priority here on Earth is first to prepare for death, in my opinion, but also to enjoy life. I always have to remind myself about that whenever I'm like in a terrible time, I'm just thinking like, okay, I'm gonna appreciate this, that I did this one day in the future. So right now I'll suffer and it'll be okay, because eventually I'll be so happy that I did this. I think I'll end it off here. Yeah, that was fun. Hopefully I can look back on this video and actually enjoy it. I don't know. I've been kind of dreading my own videos, my own video creation. That's just, I talk about this in my videos. That's how it is. There's always self-doubt in these videos, and there's always a dreading process that takes place. But I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I talked here. Yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me in 2023. If you did, and if you are supporting me in the future, thank you in advance. Yeah, this was a good year. I didn't make too many videos, but I think the quality was higher. I think the quality of the videos and the stuff that me and the guests, all the 5 or 6 guests I had, was higher than, what I've previously talked about. So, and what we've previously talked about. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I will talk to you in the next video. More guest episodes this year for sure. That's just a guarantee. I gotta step up. But yeah. Okay. Thanks so much. See you guys. Bye.